Welcome back, everyone, to feature writing. So what did we do last time? What did we end up with? So the first thing we did, the first lecture, we compared news articles with feature writing. We talked how the order of the articles is different. How in news articles you start with the most important, then the important, then the least important. Feature article, there is no such order. You can do it with the time, start from the very beginning of the day until the end of the day, or you can do the order you want. So there's more space for creativity. Okay? We also talked about the facts. You know, in news articles, you state facts. You hit them with hard facts. Feature writing, there's no such thing. The emphasis or the focus of feature writing is the humanization, the human side. The story itself, rather than the facts of the story. Okay? And so on and so forth. Now, last lecture, we talked about how to do the research. Right? First, I asked you to pick the topic, and I hope that everybody has a topic today. Then we talked about how to do the research. First, you have to know about the topic you want to talk about generally, and to come into this piece or this writing without any prejudgment, without any perceived opinions. Okay, so everybody has opinions, but for the sake of article, for the sake of the article, for the sake of writing, you need to put your opinions aside and do the research from the scratch, from the very beginning, and see what people say and see what the research says. And we give the example of brain drain. What is the definition? We start with the definition. We collected information. What do people do? Why do people leave the country first? What kind of people? Right? And the brain drain, the traditional definition is that it is mostly highly skilled people, surgeons, doctors, engineers. But now it's different. Now the young people are also leaving the country. Brilliant prospects, people who will have good futures and will have good careers, are leaving the country. So this is a new phenomenon, right? A new thing that happens. So we need to see what has been researched, what has been written about, and you need to find a new aspect to write about. So that was the other example. Now, once we've done the research, once we know general information about the topic we want to write about, we will start with the process of writing. So for the sake of the lecture, I'm going to start with the topic. Now, usually, what I usually do, I just go on with the writing and then I leave the topic to last. Some people do that. Sometimes the topic just hits me. Sometimes I know what I want to talk about, and then the title of the article is written there. Me and Suhail were talking about an article I want to write. And I just got the title in my head, but I need to start writing. So it depends. It really depends. So if you don't know the title for now, it's okay. So for the sake of this lecture, we will start with the title. How to write a good title, effective title, etc. Now the first thing you look at when you see an article on Facebook, what is it? What is the first thing you see when you see an article? The title, right? What is this article? The title of the article. And the picture attached to it. So this is the first thing you see. And depending on the title, one might click and read it, and one might not. So it has to be a very, what we call it, catchy title. Something that will grab the attention of the readers. Like read it, the moment you read it, the moment you see, okay, I want to read this article. It doesn't mean they will finish reading the article, it means they will click. Now for reading, this is a different issue and for a different lecture. But for now, we want them to click. So if you have your topics now, today I want us to at least write the title, to make up the title. Now we have a couple of steps. We need to know that the title or the headline or the title of the article is not the topic. Because topics generally, when we say the topic of the article, the topic of the class, the topic of the lecture, usually it is general. And what we learn about feature writing, it is not a general writing. It's very specific. So also the title needs to be very specific. I have an example here on the projector. Life in Palestine. If we say life in Palestine, what do we mean? What are the options for life in Palestine? What do I understand when I say life in Palestine?
It's a very broad.
It's very broad. So what are the options? What could be the article about? If the title was life in Palestine, what could it be?
Could be
Political life.
Give me examples. You said political?
Political issues. Yeah.
Sure, maybe a conflict about
Yeah.
some conflict in Palestine. Sure, it could be political.
Economic.
Could be economic. You can write about the economic suffering of the Palestinian people. Sure. And it could be about the past. It could be about the current
Could be about
issue.
the youth, مثلا.
It could be about the youth.
Traditions.
Traditions.
It could be about traditions. Yeah, culture. It could be about culture. So it could be about anything. It could be about music. Even the culture itself. It could be about music. It could be about art. It could be about henna. It could be about weddings. It could be about anything, right? So we have to. The title has to be very specific. You cannot let him swim in the sea of titles, right? You have to be very specific. So the headlines have to be very specific. We talked about examples. Who can give me any? Well, this later. The title has to be. It's not a topic. It has to be very specific, and you have to be accurate. Meaning, if you say the title, music or traditional music in Palestine, and then all of a sudden, once a person clicks on the title and goes to the article, and then what is in the article is not about music in Palestine, but about traditional clothes, for example. This is misleading. You know, you're cheating the reader. So don't do that. It has to be accurate. It has to reflect the article itself. In the title, in order to grab, we'll use this later. The title has to be direct and it has to be simple. And don't try. In Arabic, we love to dramatize things. We love to do that, even in writing or in title. We love to dramatize things. And when we dramatize things, we usually go in circles. You know, we usually do that. We don't. You know, we put a lot of beautifications, what I call them, beautifications. You know, powerful words that will not give me the exact. It's vague, right? But in English, it has to be direct. What are you talking about exactly? Okay. You should keep it short, if possible, but it's okay if it's long, if necessary. So, I will give you a couple of examples. One is short and one is long, and you can judge for yourself. You should use clickbaits. Now, clickbaits it has a negative connotation. When you say clickbaits, if you say clickbaits to a reader, to a writer, or to a reader actually, he will take it negatively. Because usually when we talk about clickbaits, what is a bait? Let's start with a bait. What is a bait?
That is the thing you use in order to catch fishes.
Exactly. So it's like worms, could be worms, or to catch birds or whatever. So it's something you give to someone or to an animal in order to catch him or it. Okay? So here we're catching readers. We're not catching animals. We're catching readers. So people dislike this because sometimes you write a very bombastic title, something huge, something big, right? And then when you get into the article, it is not what is the title. What is the title about? Like sometimes they say, you can't believe what we see it on Facebook all the time. You can't believe what just happened. Something. Find out what happens next, right? We see this all the time. Now, a lot of times these are clickbaits, and they are negative. But for our sake, what we want to do is we want to take the positive side of this clickbait. We want to bait the reader to read our article. This is not a bad thing, but we want to do it in a good way. So the title has to. This is why we have to be accurate. The title has to reflect the article. And don't make a very big title, and then all of a sudden the article is not as big as the title says it is. Okay. Use strong words. Usually, strong words attract readers. Let's talk about this brilliant artist in Gaza who uses henna, or it could be positive, brilliant, great, amazing, outstanding, whatever. The outstanding music culture of Palestine, or it could be negative, grievous. You know, like you're grieving, sad. Survival. You know, you're surviving a war. You know, the survival story of a boy, tyranny, the tyranny of the government, the tyranny of the society. You know, it's a very powerful title, the tyranny of the society. Shocking, shocking facts or shocking details about whatever story, right? These are very powerful. You read it and you're like, I want to see what is shocking. Really? So, okay. Make it search optimized. What is the meaning of search optimized? Usually sometimes people, well, we often, what we see, what articles we go to is articles on Facebook, usually, or Twitter, social media. But other people, sometimes they want to look for, they want to read about a topic, a certain topic. Let's say, China, or Japan, or whatever. So they go to Google, right? You Google these areas and you Google the specific thing you want to look for, maybe life in Japan or whatever. Now Google has certain words they use, some methodology, whatever, that shows results based on what you search for. So what you want to use words that people use usually. And imagine yourself a foreigner who wants to learn about whatever you're writing about in Hazard. Use the words that they might use. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't use weird words, uncommon words. Even sometimes Arabic words, don't use them. Use them in the article, that's fine. As we saw in the article, one day in Ramadan, she used suhoor, she used fajr, iftar, whatever. These are Arabic, but in the title it should be, maybe you could use them to clickbait, but they're not search optimized. Last but not least, you need to let people help you in brainstorming. Even in writing, not just the title, but also in writing. It is very good to have people help you. How do they help you? For the title, you can just talk and brainstorm. This is what the article is about. What do you think would be a powerful title? Ask people. This is what we're going to do today, actually. We are going to work together to create titles for each other. To help each other create titles. Sometimes you see things from one perspective, but other people see it from another perspective. And it's very helpful that people to hear other people's perspectives, not just yours. Even in the article itself, sometimes we will talk about this later. But once you finish your article, you should send it to people to read before you publish it. You should send it to some people who maybe know about this topic or want to learn about this topic, because they will give you. Sometimes things can be clear for you or to you. But when other people read it, they're not as clear as you think. They will tell you, okay, make this more clear. Or they will tell you that this is too much details and there's no need to, unnecessary details, you should remove them. So send them to people and see what is their opinion. Same for titles. This is what we are going to do. So let's check out some examples. So everything is clear as far as we know? Okay, let's check out some examples. This is a long title and this is a short title. This is the one we read. In Aslanam's piece about suicide on Rising. Okay? Suicide on the Rising Asad. When death seems the only escape. It's a powerful title. Because you wonder, what makes people, well, why is it powerful? Let's ask you this question. I don't want to answer it myself. Why do you think it's powerful? Or first, do you think it's powerful? It's okay to say no, Adi. No problem. Let's talk about this one first, for now. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's a good title? No? Why not?
Maybe it is attractive.
Mm-hmm. If you see it, would you click on it? That's the question. You were there? Okay, what would make you click on it? How would you change it? Let's try it. What do you guys think? Anyone else? Do you think it's powerful?
Yes.
Okay, why? Yes, Bisa.
Yes, I think it is powerful because if I see this headline, I would just go and read it because, like, I start wondering what is going on in Gaza. Why is there a suicide, like
phenomenon of suicide?
Yes.
Why is it on the rise?
Yes.
Why is death the only escape?
Yes.
Can't just people leave, for example? Can't just people stay? Why is death the only escape?
Like,
Sure,
start thinking
you could
about
ask. Yeah, you could.
reasons,
It makes you ask a question. Sure, that's one reason.
It is attractive because it has a word that, when I see it, I feel something strange.
Okay, which one?
Death.
Death. Okay.
But if I were here, I would put the word death at the beginning.
You would do what?
Put the word death at the
At the beginning.
At the beginning.
Ah. Death is the only escape. Suicide on the rise in Gaza, something like that. Sure, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's also crucial and controversial because we know that suicide is haram in our society.
Sure, yeah.
So what's happened in Gaza?
Exactly.
Get scared.
What would make people
Yes.
take their own lives when
Yes.
their religion prohibits it?
Yes.
This is something very crucial. Sure, yeah. I mean, it takes someone great. It takes you to go to great lengths to do such a thing, right? That is if you know the context of Gaza. Sure, yeah, this is very true. Good point. Let's look at the first title. Pearls before breakfast. Pearls before breakfast. What is pearls? Like jewelry, the white pearls,
Yes.
right? Pearls before breakfast. Can one of the nation's great musicians cut through the fog of a DC rush hour? Let's find out. Is this a good title or not? It's long, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's long, but that's okay. Is it a good title? Does it make you want to read about it? Really?
Yes,
Why yes?
because
And then why no?
can want to know the answer to the question which is introduced.
Right. So well, let's explain the title first. Okay? Can one of the nation's great musicians? So this is one of the musicians, U.S. musicians, who's very famous and people pay
Yes.
to watch. Right? People pay money to watch. Cut through the fog of a DC rush hour. So rush hour usually is the morning when people go to work.
Yes.
In the metro, you know, they're just busy. They have one goal and one goal only: to go to work on time, not to be late, right? This create a fog. You know, the fog, you know, the vapor in the air, you know, the white vapor, right? So can he make people stop? Basically, can he make people stop and listen when they are going to work? This is basically the title. Let's find out. So is it attractive? Does it make you click on it? Mm.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, why not?
it's too long.
Too long? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the title, Pearls Before Breakfast, and this is like a subtitle.
Yeah.
But when you go to the website, it shows the whole thing, because this is from the website. I took it as a screenshot. It's too long. It could be too long. Could be.
Yes.
But sometimes it's okay if you have a point to make.
For more for postmodernist people, it is not okay at all. But it is not.
I know. Because when we go to Facebook, what type of posts do we read? You know, when we scroll around Facebook, do we read short posts or long posts?
Sure.
Oh, I know, yeah. I know where you're coming from. I understand. But sometimes long is okay. Sometimes long is okay. So who else said no? Other than this article, by the way, won what is it called? The Pulitzer Award for feature story in 2008, I think. What about the third title? The Girl in the Window. What girl? What does it mean, the girl in the window? Right? It's kind of weird. You know, it's kind of weird. So you might click on it, you might not.
Yes.
But if it were me, I would, because I want to find out, what does that even mean? What is a girl in the window? Is she inside the window or like behind the window, front the window? Right? Is it a reflection? So it kind of makes you wonder. So for me, it was a good title. Okay. Another way to so these are titles from articles. I think a good way to inspire some titles is also songs. I think some songs have really good titles, and I think we can learn from them. So this you'll laugh. So this is four. These are four titles. You might know the songs, you might not know the songs. So the first title is "I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto." This is an old song by Tupac. He's a rapper, right? I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. Right? Heaven is supposed to be what? A perfect place, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And you know what is a ghetto?
Yes.
What is a ghetto?
The Jewish neighbors.
It could be Jewish neighbors,
Yeah.
yeah. In World War II.
In the Western.
Sure. The Jewish neighborhoods in
where
the...
they are isolated in the West.
Exactly, that was in Europe.
Yeah.
But after the Holocaust, since the Jewish suffering was relieved and their situation got a lot better, ghettos were used in America, in black neighborhoods. Very poor usually, full of crime and drugs. Okay, so it's a terrible place to live.
The other side of the
Right, yeah. White American, black American.
Yeah.
So I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. It makes you wonder. What? So heaven is supposed to be perfect, right? But then there's a ghetto in heaven, a poor place. So it makes you wonder, right? I want to see what is he talking about? What is going on? Why does he say that heaven? Why does he wonder that heaven might have a poor place where poor people live and there's crimes and drugs and stuff? So it's a good title. The second one, ghetto gospel. Again, ghetto. What is the meaning of gospel? What's the gospel?
It is a book, religious.
Religious book.
For
Bible.
Christian people.
The Bible. Basically the Bible. The Bible of the ghetto. It's like saying Quran al-Mukhayyam. Right? Is it powerful?
No, because
Really?
the people of that, that Bible are most powerful. They're less than being unpowerful as everything.
Could be.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's powerful because that shows that every people, poor and rich people have their own religion. Everyone has.
Sure.
And people divided even
So-
religion.
So when we say the Bible, we think this is the religion of the Christians, right? When we say the Quran, this is the book of the Muslims. But when you say the holy book of the ghetto, what does it say? The rule. What is usually in a holy book? The rules, the laws of the religion, the morals of the religion. But when we say the holy book of the ghetto, we talk about the morals of the ghetto, the laws of the ghetto, the stories of the ghetto, right? So is it powerful?
No.
Really? I think it is. I think it's very powerful. I really do. Because in two words, he makes you wonder, well, how does a ghetto has a holy book? Right? What is that the story? Yeah, well, kind of. But how, it's not an actual holy book, it's just metaphorical, right? Let's move to the next one. Do you know this third song? This is a very popular song. Very popular song. Take Me to Church. Who knows it? So what is the song about? In general, shortly. You forgot? Does anyone know it? So take me to church. When someone says take me to the mosque or take me to the church, what does it usually mean? What do you want to do in the church? Or in the mosque? You want to pray, right? You're very religious, you want to go pray. But if you actually listen to the song, I wish I had it, it's the opposite. Exactly, it's the very opposite.
Maybe.
He's actually attacking the church. So this is very good. Sometimes you want to, it's not inaccurate because it reflects the title, but it's very, what do I say? It's like you're tricking the reader, kind of. You're telling them that, oh, this is about a religious song, whatever, and then all of a sudden it's the opposite. So sometimes you want to do that. Sometimes you want to say, depression is not real. And then in the article you're actually attacking that idea, for example. Or there's no occupation in Palestine. And then you go into the article to prove the opposite, to make fun of people who say that. You see what I mean? This is actually a clickbait for the people who believe this, basically. Okay? Last song, this is a kind of in the 1970s, How to Disappear Completely. It makes you wonder, what does it mean to disappear completely? I mean, how do you disappear completely, right? When you die, you don't disappear, you go to the earth, right? Or your soul goes to heaven, how to disappear completely. So it kind of makes you wonder, what does it mean to disappear completely? So what I mean is that, even when you when you hear songs, look at the title, it might give you inspiration for something. The first one actually gave me inspiration for a story. I'll give you the title, but don't steal it. Basically, I wonder if heaven got a refugee camp, basically. See what I mean? For me, my title, I wonder if heaven got a refugee camp. See what I mean? Because here, let me explain it to you a little bit. When a lot of people in Palestine, they live and they die where? In a refugee camp. Right? So when they die, I mean, it makes you wonder, if they are born in the refugee camp and if they die in the refugee camp, are they going to live in a refugee camp in heaven too? Even people who travel, ask people who travel, and this was my experience, but I believe it was also the experience of other people. The refugee camp doesn't disappear when you leave. It doesn't go away. You carry it with you. So if you carry it with you when you travel, when you are alive, do you carry it with you when you die also? See, that's the question I'm asking. And this was actually very similar to the song. I was inspired by the song, that's why I thought about it. Okay? So let's work on titles. Let's go back to So let's talk. Let's give me your topics and let's think about titles. Let's do that. So where was the girl with the artist girl? She's not coming here. She's not here. Okay, let's go with you. Yeah. What's your topic?
The deliberate distortion of the Palestinian psyche. Psyche.
It's like mental.
Yes.
The mental side of the Israeli occupation. Good. Okay. So what? So the general. I'm just going to write the general ones. Okay. So mental effects
Yeah.
of
Not effects.
attacks.
Attacks.
Okay.
Yes.
Mental attacks of the Israeli occupation.
To the Palestinians.
Occupation to the Palestinians. So this cannot be a title because it's very long.
A topic.
Yeah, that's the topic. That's the topic. What's the topic about? Can you give me more information? Just click, just pinpoints. Really good.
They deliberately worked on making us defeatists
Okay.
and individualistic and have one-sided way of thinking.
Oh, that's a good point. No vision.
Visionless.
Yeah, no vision. We don't have a long-term goals.
Yes.
We don't think about the future in the long term.
Yes.
So no vision. We usually think about tomorrow. How am I going to feed my children tomorrow? How am I going to today? So no vision. Sure. Anything else you want to add?
I haven't thought of it yet.
Okay, that's fine. So based on the information that we see on the board, what would be a good title? Let's think about it. We talk about the mental attacks of the Israeli occupation on the Palestinians, how it makes us defeatist, individualistics, one-sided way of thinking. We only think about surviving, for example, or we only think about liberating Palestine by the arms. We don't think about other ways, for example. No vision. We don't have long-term goals. So you're going to study one person or the issue? Multiple people. Multiple people. Okay, so multiple people. So what would be a good title?
Mind colonization.
That's a good one. Wow, that's actually very powerful. What do you guys think? This is actually very powerful. I like it. What do you guys think? Yeah.
Do not we forget the occupation?
Do not forget the occupation.
Yeah, do not we forget the occupation?
As a question.
Yeah.
Do we not forget the occupation?
Don't
Forget the occupation?
No,
It's
do
like
not.
a question.
Yeah, as a rhetorical question. You know?
Say it again.
Do not we forget the occupation?
Oh, don't we forget the occupation? Okay. I see your point.
Yeah.
So it's like we forget that there's an occupation and we're busy with our lives.
Yes.
I see your point. Okay, sure, that's a good one. Okay, what else?
Mental siege.
Mental siege. That's a good one. Yeah, mental siege. I think I wrote it wrong. It's IE, whatever. What else? See, when people think together, they can come up with good titles. So which one do you guys like best? Mind colonization. Is it general or specific? What do you colonize exactly about the mind?
The mind itself.
What part of the mind? What part of our behavior, for example? You see what I mean? It could be the beginning of the title. Mind colonization, semicolon, or colon. Then you continue with the title. How the Israelis, kaza. You see what I mean? Yeah. I think that would be very powerful. Mental siege, same thing. Mental siege, short, 2 words, but then you can continue it.
I think it has nothing to do with it.
Okay. You know your article, so I'm not. Yeah, you know your article. Sure, because colonization is more like they sit inside your head. Siege is like they're outside and they're surrounding it. I see your point. Very good point. Very good point.
Mental siege in Palestine.
Mental siege in Palestine? Sure, but like, who is doing the mental siege, right?
What I am talking
Is it
about-
Palestinians or is it Israelis? Because that could be a very, I mean, Palestinians sometimes they mental siege themselves.
Yeah.
They siege themselves mentally sometimes.
Yes.
They do. Continue. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I think mind colonization is a really good topic. How would you continue it? Let's work on this one. Mind colonization. What else? What comes after it? Though? It's very similar to the pearls before breakfast, like gold before breakfast. You know. So what comes after it?
Without the symmetry.
Without the comma?
Mind colonization as a field to practical colonization. Because what I'm talking about is the deliberate plans they've been putting into practice in order to create the mind and the psyche that they want. For making it easier for them to.
So they're modifying your head. They're modifying your way of thinking.
Yes.
I love that. That's a really good topic. I would love to read it. Good topic. Excellent. All right, let's find another topic. Who else? But you see the idea? You see the idea how you would create a title reflecting your article? Because when I said mental siege, or when he said mind siege or mental siege, she said no, because it doesn't reflect the article itself. So it has to reflect it. It has to be accurate. Very good. Very good. Okay. Someone else. Who has a topic? No topics? Nobody prepared one? Another one? You have two topics?
No, I have only one.
Oh, okay. No, we'll give me a random topic. It doesn't have to be yours. Yeah, go ahead.
About child labor, a 12-year-old boy.
Okay. 12-year-old boy, child labor. That's really good. Child labor. He's 12. Okay, what else? Give me information.
About his family circumstances.
Family circumstances. Okay.
His simple wish, even to complete his education.
Wishes, education. Okay, what else?
About his attitude. About his attitude
Towards life.
Government. No, government.
Oh, 12-year-old has attitude towards government.
And local communities.
Attitude, local. This is very, I mean, this could be very powerful because a 12-year-old thinking about the government, right? And if you go to the US, all they think about is playing basketball or going to a football game. Nobody thinks about the government until they're like 20-something, right? Or 18. Right? So it could be very powerful. It could be very powerful story.
Other circumstances that push him to work.
Okay, why work? Right? Why work at 12? Okay, so what would be a good title? So now, let me ask you this first. Are you going to, how are you approaching this article? Are you going to follow him around the day, or how is it?
I want to make an interview with him.
An interview, okay. And then you want to see how to take it. Okay. Very good, very good. I don't think I read an article about child labor lately. Have you guys? I haven't. That should be a very good title. Maybe people wrote about it probably in general, but I don't think I've seen a feature article about child labor. Okay, good. It would be cool if he has like talents and stuff, you know, like if he likes to draw or to sing or to play music. That would be cool. And then you can compare. It would be very very powerful if you could compare him, or if he compares himself to other children, compared to Western children. Okay. Titles. Let's think. So what is the title you have in mind?
Oh, don't tell.
Okay, let's think. That's why we're here. What do you guys think? Based on the information that we have. Talking about child labor. A 12-year-old Palestinian in Gaza working to feed his family. It's very sad.
Yes,
He wants to get education, but he can't. He doesn't go to school. He doesn't go to school, right? Yeah. And he has some opinions about the government, about the hard life. I mean, he's become an adult at 12 years old. So what would be a good title?
Yes, I have one. the modern Oliver Twist in the 21st century.
Ah, you're a literature student.
Yeah.
Okay. Modern Oliver Twist. 20th or 21st?
Yeah.
It's kind of long, but it's fine. Yeah, if you don't know Oliver Twist, he was an orphan who worked, who picked for money, and then I think some rich man found him. I heard it some time ago. Is he an orphan?
Yes.
He is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Was he picked by a rich man?
No, he just worked as a trained supervisor. So.
Okay. Cool.
I lost life.
What do you guys think?
I lost life.
A lost life or a lost childhood? Could be also. Lost childhood. Sure. What else? Lost childhood.
A huge burden.
A huge burden?
I want that.
It's too short and it's very vague, I think. What is the burden? You see what I mean? Is he old? Is he young? Who's carrying the burden? Female, male?
The child.
Yeah, I know. Because I know the story. I know it's a child. But if I just read the title, what do I get? And when you hear a lost childhood, it's kind of vague, but it's kind of powerful. We can like fix it to work on it.
Actually, the holding a huge burden.
A child holding a huge burden. Okay. A child holding a burden. So how? Yeah, go ahead.
When she was speaking, I remembered the movie 13 going 30.
Okay. I haven't seen it. So what is this movie about?
It's about like a magic thing, but a title that maybe
12
13
going 20.
Yeah, something like that.
That's good. It's actually very good to change some famous title into your title, because this would be a clickbait again. You attract the readers. You click on it, like the one about the ghetto. Yeah, 12, turning 20, or going to 20,
the same.
going to 20.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good one. It's a really good one. I like that. So would you change it? Which one would you pick? What's your name?
Like that.
Like that. Which one would you pick?
The last one is attractive.
It's very attractive, right?
12 years old father.
Ah, actually, that's very that's nice. That's nice. I like it. 12 years old father. "12 years old father." I mean, it makes you wonder: is he married? Why is he a father? Right? It makes you wonder. It makes you click on it. Actually, I like that. I mean, these two actually are really very powerful. See, you have ideas now. You should write them down. Okay? Should we go for a third one or enough? Enough? Let's just take a break because we have another part. So, let's take a break for 15 minutes and then keep going. Yeah. All right, back to part 2. The lecture. Now, the first part we talked about the title. Now we move to the actual writing of the article. Now, the first thing you want to write is what? The introduction, right? The first part of the writing is the introduction. Well, let's read and let's see what you can tell me about these introductions that we have examples. What makes a good introduction? What kind of things we have to take into consideration? Now again, we have to differ between a news article and a feature article. So we have an example here of the feature article. This is from The Girl in the Window that we saw the title. The introduction. The first 2 paragraphs. The family had lived in the rundown rental house for almost 3 years when someone first saw a child's face in the window. Again, the child's face in the window. Again, reflecting the title. A little girl, pale, with dark eyes, lifted a dirty blanket above the broken glass and peered out. One neighbor remembered. She ran away. But what do you notice about it? What do you notice about the introduction? Does it have facts, like numbers and stuff?
No.
No, what does it have?
It's like narration.
It's narration, sure, yeah, good.
And very much related to the title.
The title, related to the title. What else? Does it have details or what kind of details does it have?
Describe.
Exactly, it's descriptive. It's descriptive. It's even describing how the girl looked. She's pale, dark eyes, little. She's little, right? It's very descriptive, and it has more details of like narration details even. She lifted the blanket. Does it give you everything you want to know? Does it give you everything you want to know? Are you satisfied? Or do you want to know more?
I want to know more.
You want to know more. Because in the news article, what we noticed is, once you read the first 2 paragraphs, you're done. You don't want to continue. You got everything you wanted to get. So it's important we call it tease. Basically, give people something to hang on. Give people something to hang on so that they continue reading. So you want to tease. What else? Let's move to the second one. Let's see. Now, do you notice, are they short paragraphs or long?
It's not that one.
Yeah, they're very short. This is one option. Or paragraph one. Let's see the second one I have. He capitalized the first 2 lines. He emerged, he came out from the metro. This is from the Pearls Before Breakfast, about the musician. He emerged from the metro at the L'Enfant Plaza station, some train station in DC, and positioned himself against a wall beside a trash basket. Did he introduce the person?
No.
He didn't. He just went on with the story. Do we know who's the person? We don't. So you have to keep, what do we call it? Hidden details, hidden information. Hidden info or details. You don't want to say, his name is Mike and he's the most famous musician in the US and he did this or he did that. Nah, you go on with the story. You want to hide some details. So he emerged, he went to the station and then he positioned himself next to the window, next to the wall, beside a trash basket. By most measures, he was nondescript, and he looked normal. Nothing was noticeable about him. A youngish white man in jeans, a long-sleeve T-shirt, and a Washington Nationals baseball cap. Descriptive. What is he wearing? Details. From a small case of the violin, that's the case of the violin, the bag, he removed the violin. Placing the open case at his feet, he shrewdly threw in a few dollars and pocket change as seed money. Basically, the seed money is you put the little money in into the bag or into whatever in the front of you when you're playing guitar or whatever, so that people will give you more money. It's not like you're terrible, right? Like nobody wants to give you money. It's like a bait for money, as seed money. What's that word? Swiveled it to face pedestrian traffic and began to play. So he positioned it a way that the people walking in the metro would see him. Okay, then what happened? That's the introduction. That's the only paragraph. It's a little bit long, but that's fine if you have to do it. Does it tell you anything about what is going on? It's just an introduction. We have hidden details. It does tease you because it doesn't give you enough information. It gives you just enough to make you interested, right? Enough to make you or to keep you interested. Okay, what happens next? Well, does he play? Do people pay attention to it? Because remember, in the title, he asked a question. Do people pay attention to him or not? So he's still teasing us. He still gives us details to just enough to keep us interesting, but he doesn't satisfy us. Okay? Let's see a third example. We read this the first lecture. This is from Suicide Piece. Okay? This is the very beginning, the first paragraph. What happens when a person is forced to struggle for years without enough money to support his family, and there is literally no way out? Literally, not figuratively, literally. And you can't even leave the place. Question. She started with a question. Now imagine that same description, desperation and hopelessness is reverberating across hundreds of thousands of people crammed into a tiny place. She asked two questions in the introduction. So you can ask questions if you want. Does it prompt you to continue reading? Does it make you interested into knowing the answers to these questions?
Yes.
It does. It's kind of powerful. It doesn't start with Gaza is suffering from depression, from the issue of suicide because people are depressed and people are have difficulties in the economic situation. No, she asks questions to keep you interested, to get you hooked. We call it the hook, to get you hooked. Okay? And again, it's reflecting what? Title. So what do we learn? We learn that they are descriptive, they are teasing and provocative, or provoking. Right? They poke you, right? They provoke you, but they don't give you enough information to satisfy your hunger for information. It's like when you're reading a good story. Some people try to keep it short, other people, that's fine if you keep it long. But most people keep it short. Consider asking questions. You don't have to, but consider it if it helps your article. Say something unusual, something unexpected, right? Something weird, not everything, not everyday life, right? We noticed this in the first article about the girl. You know, a girl in dirty clothes running away, or appearing in a window and then running away. This doesn't happen often. Do we see girls behind windows running away all the time? No. Something unusual. You start with it. Or the second one, the musician. It is something usual to see musicians playing in a metro. It's very usual. If you go to, not here, we don't have a metro in Gaza. But if you go abroad, any metro or any public space where people walk all the time, you will see musicians playing. But that is usual. But what he did, he added something unusual to the article when he talked about, in the title, sorry. He added something in the title when he said it's one of the greatest musicians. Right now he's describing him in the introduction. So this is not your usual musician who comes here just to play and collect money. It's someone who has enough money. He doesn't need the few dollars he collects. This is the unusual part, something unexpected. Okay? Now this is very, very important. Very important. You have to always ask yourself, what makes me keep reading? What keeps me, or what gets me hooked? And if you read your own introduction, do you keep going? Imagine yourself. Don't consider yourself the one who wrote the introduction. Just think about it as someone else who wrote it, and then read it objectively. This time it's objectively. Would you continue reading? This is why we also give it to other people. When you write something and you give it to other people, ask them, is it interesting? Does it get you hooked? Would you continue reading or not? Okay, and this is very important. So let's practice. And then let's go home. Give me let's go back to the first two topics that we talked about. What was the first one? What was the second one? Psychological. Let's talk about the child labor because it's easier than the mental issue. It's very hard. Alaikum salam. No problem. We're almost done actually.
I see.
No, that's okay.
And I almost have no chair. No seat.
Sorry about that.
No.
Let's use the child labor as an example. Again, he's 12, he's supporting family, etc., etc. We know the information. So how would you start it? How would you talk about it? Would you say Palestinians suffer, or Palestinians, there's a big issue in Palestine, which is child labor. We usually start with this, especially when we write in Arabic at school. There's a big issue. No one can deny that there's a big issue in Palestine, which is child labor, right? This doesn't work in English. So how would you start it? How would you start it? Think about the examples I gave. You need to go into the story immediately, but you need to give enough information just to keep people hooked, so they would continue reading. What would you say? Give me a sentence or two, just to get us started. Yeah. Especially like that, since it's your story. Yeah, go ahead.
Some ideas?
Yeah, give me ideas. We can
High
start.
heat sun.
Hmm?
High heat sun. The sun. High heat sun. High heat.
High heat? What do you mean?
Temperature.
In
The
the
high
red,
temperature.
Oh, in the high heat of the sun. It was a hot day, for
Yeah.
example. Yes, sure, yeah. It was a hot day. What is his name, yeah, Linda? Give me a name.
Ahmed.
Okay, Ahmed. It was a hot day.
Describe his
When-
face.
Yeah.
His
When
face.
it was a hot day when a young boy, age 12, مثلا, when a young boy, aged 12. What was he selling, by the way? What does he sell? Chocolate?
Yeah.
Was or is? Oh, it is a hot day. خليها was, okay. If you use the past, use the past in all of your use the present, use the present. When a young boy, age 12, was carrying a heavy basket of chocolate, for example. Or you can start it with a quote. What do they usually say? The chocolate people who sell chocolate. What do they usually?
Chocolate by 1 shekel.
Sure.
Shekel.
Here, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Get 2 pieces for 1 shekel, for example. You can start with that. Or you can put it here. But it's a good quote. You can put it somewhere. Chocolate, chocolate. You can.
Or he sells the thing that he needs.
That's a theme you can cover.
Yeah.
That's a theme you can cover. Buy 2 pieces.
And get one free.
Sure. Or buy 2 pieces for 1 shekel only. Shekel. He's shouting, right? This is a quote we could use either at the beginning or later. What else would you add? It was a hot day when a young boy, aged 12, was carrying a heavy basket of chocolate, roaming the streets of Gaza, or the streets of Arimal, streets of Arimal. Let's make it more specific. Is there a question you could ask here? This is another part, and it doesn't have to be behind it. Afterwards. Would you ask a question? We can add it, yeah, sure. Chocolate, buy 2 pieces for 1 shekel. If you hear this, would you buy? Sure. Let's move on. Or you can ask, what makes a 12-year-old?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, what makes a 12-year-old sell or not?
Leave his school.
This is okay. We can say it was a school day. Come on. Somewhere. We can add this later. It's a note we can take it. School day. Okay. We have to create something about school day so that he's leaving school. What makes a child leave school to get merry shekels a day, مثلا? I don't know, but I'm trying to get ideas.
This is the idea.
See what I mean? Leaving school, asking question. What else?
Supporting the family needs, basic needs for the
No father in sight. You can say no father in sight, no mother, or no father in sight. Maybe he has his little brother with him. Maybe selling chocolate. He's teaching him the trade of selling chocolate. Okay. No father in sight. Yani you can't see his father around. No father in sight. Only the sweat from. I'm trying to write on the board. Only a sweat. I don't usually write. Only the sweat of a long working day. مثلا. You see what I mean? So here you're introducing the article, right? It was a hot day when a young boy, aged 12, was carrying a heavy basket of chocolate, roaming the street of Ireland. No father in sight, only a sweat of a long working day. What does it tell us? Tell us he's selling chocolate. His parents are not with him. Usually, if the 12-year-old is roaming the streets, usually there's a father with him or a mother with him, right? So maybe his father, he's orphan, maybe he's an orphan, maybe his father is sick, maybe his father is doing something else also, working, maybe he's on drugs, whatever. But it makes you question, right? Only the sweat of a long working day. Maybe he works from the morning till the evening, for example, because he's sweating. That means he's been working for long hours. This tells us about the school. Maybe you can switch to the school afterwards. You get the idea? That's what I'm trying to say. Don't just go ahead with the topic. Don't just say his name was Ahmad. He was 12 years old and he sells chocolate, مثلا. Don't tell me this kind of things. Keep me teased. Keep me wondering what is going on. Now the next question is, well, where is his father then? Why is he working? Right? Why is he not in school, for example? You need to know, you need to prepare the questions that the reader might ask. Prepare the questions that the reader might ask. Why is this important? Why is it important to keep this in mind?
In order to satisfy a part of the reader's desire. Exactly. If you know that he's going to ask, where's his father? Write something about that, just a little bit, hook him. If he's going to ask about, well, why is he not in school? Write something about that, just enough to satisfy his hunger, but not to...
spoiling the whole article.
Exactly. Right? Where is he? Why is he roaming around Main Street? Why is he carrying a chocolate? Why is he shouting? This kind of stuff. So try to prepare the questions and then give them pieces of information, just little pieces of the answers, not all the pieces of the answers. Because if you give them the answers, then why should I continue reading? See what I mean? Just give them little pieces just to wonder, and then keep going. Let's take another example, and then I think that would be it. Give me another topic. Not mental siege, not mental. Give me an easy one. I don't want to be tested here. Give me a topic.
About graphic art in Gaza.
Graphic art? Sure. Graffiti?
Graffiti art, yeah.
Sure, that's a good one. Especially that the graffiti is considered Western. Okay, graffiti art. Graffiti art, okay.
Also,
That's the general topic. We're not going to discuss the title or...
maybe also rap singers.
Or rap, sure, or rap.
Singers.
Or rap.
Yeah,
What else?
famous.
Yesterday I met one of my friends. He is an international correspondent here in Gaza, and he told me that they are working on a story or telling a story of a boy. His birthday was on the same day of the first day of the siege. So they are telling the story of the
that's a
siege.
good one. That's a really good one.
They are working on it, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a really good one.
For the German newspaper or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good
Ramadan.
one.
His name is Ramadan.
My age is 12 years of siege.
Yes.
Or 12 sieges, I don't know, something like that. I mean, we do this on Facebook. We saw it a lot after the Third War. They would say, "Oh, my age is 3 wars and 20 fathers," or something like that, right? And they do this. I mean, it's very powerful. I mean, we laugh, but it's very powerful. Like, why would you use wars as measurement of time? I use songs as measurement of time sometimes when I shower. If I play 3 songs and then I'm like, okay, that's enough. I need to get out. But wars, that's different. That's different. So it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. So that's a good one. So which topic should we do? Craft, graffiti art, or rap? Art or rap? Rap? Let's go with rap. Let's go with rap. So I think a good way to cover the rap artist or a rapper.
One person.
It has to be one person.
You can speak about Hussein al-Name.
Okay.
He's
I
a
don't know.
famous rapper in Gaza. He's the first one here.
Okay. He's the first one to. So he introduced the rap into Gaza.
Yeah.
That's something to
Something
cover.
like that.
But what would be the main theme? This would be the side, the indirect things you want to say about it.
Muhammad Anta usually be the first one.
Muhammad Anta?
Muhammad Anta.
Could be.
I'm here for 5 years, so I know all this.
But regardless, he was one of the
Palestinian-
first. Let's say he was one of the first.
Many Palestinian voices, VIP cards.
Okay, so he has songs about Palestine. I think a good, the main theme would be covering maybe a party. Maybe that's where you should
He
start.
was maybe for 2 months.
Mm.
He was invited to a party in Lebanon, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's a concert,
A
yeah.
concert, maybe,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
A concert, and he can't get out.
He couldn't go out. Okay. Did he sing? Did he sing anything about it? About not about the borders?
He sings
I have a reason for asking.
He sings about become of Gaza. Yeah, become
Ah.
of Gaza.
Did he say anything about not being able to get out?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where you should start. Quote?
Become of Gaza. He said sorry, become for I cannot still blame.
Because I can't leave, something like
Yes,
that.
like
Okay.
something like
I didn't.
that.
I heard about. I heard about it. I didn't hear it. So that's where you should start.
Yes.
Talk about. Give the lyrics of the song, where he's singing about not being able to leave, and then start describing the concert. Right? That's where you should start describing the concert. Where you could say 200 people gathered around, or we can describe him. Sang a young man, dark or brown, whatever. Then you would describe the concert. Then you would describe maybe you could move to not being able to move to the concert in Lebanon because you want to connect it. You see what I mean? You need to connect things. Lebanon concert, you cannot go. It doesn't have to be the beginning, but you could. It could be in the middle also. But the thing is, you need to go into the story immediately. You don't need to introduce. There's no introductions. And I teach at Amazons then, and a lot of time, for example, let's say the friendship topic, for example, friendship. Okay. So in Arabic we say, translate to English, friendship is very important in our life. In Arabic, that's what we do.
The old tools of our life.
Yeah, that's what we do in Arabic. Yeah, in school. Yeah. Friendship is very important in our life. Without friendship, we would be nothing. We love drama. We would be nothing, right? Friends in need is a friend indeed. And then they would start talking about the topic. And I always tell them, forget about the introduction. Just start with the topic. Just tell me. And then I tell them to be specific. I know that the friendship is important. I don't care. I mean, I know all this. Tell me about your friendship, about your experience. Because this is what makes us unique. This is what makes us different from one to another. And my experience with friendship could be different from your experience with friendship. Could be different from your experience with friendship. This is how it makes every article different. The same thing with rap. Maybe there are two different rappers, but they are
Everyone has
dealing with
a
it differently.
story.
And a very good way to connect it with the world, because sometimes it's always a good idea to connect what you're talking about to the larger global environment. Since rap, how did rap start? If you know, what was rap about And forget about rap today because today's rap is awful. American rap I'm talking about. How did the rap start in the U.S.? It started in the U.S. by the way. What was it about? If you know.
I know that
Racism. Social issues. Talking about the reality. What's going on the ground. This is exactly what we're doing here. So you connect it to the larger global struggle. This is a struggle against racism and injustice and the corrupt system. This is what we do here. So if you connect it to the rappers of the U.S., that would be amazing. Then you have to put this in the title because you want Westerners to click your. Since it's an English article, you want Westerners to click on your article, and you want them to read it, and you want them to make this comparison. And you don't want to make it very obvious, but you want to give them enough to start wondering and make the comparison. Remember the first lecture I told you about the article I wrote comparing the African Americans to the Palestinians?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Just yesterday, one African American responded to me and she wrote an article as a response to the letter. That means people read and people get affected, they get influenced. And I was really touched by it, to be honest. And you're writing something to a larger audience, and then one of them writes back to you. See what I mean? So it's very important to connect it to the larger audience. It's very important to tell them why they should care. Because again, maybe I mentioned this very earlier, but you should always ask, why should they care? Right? And the very good answer is because we're similar. And this is what actually she said. She said that I discovered that the struggle, and I forgot for a moment, I felt alone that African Americans are only struggling by themselves. But after reading the article, I discovered that we're actually connected. We're actually fighting the same fight, and we're together in this fight. We're fighting against racism and injustice and white supremacy and all this kind of stuff. So it's very important to connect it to the larger audience. And I think that's it. So what would you like? Do you have any questions? So now do you know how to get into the article, how to introduce it? Yeah.
I'm asking about the tenses that we need to use. Do we need to use the rules of writing that we have for critical essays and articles?
What do you mean?
For example, we just need to use the present tenses and
It depends. Well, yeah, usually stories, and if you're reading novels, they go in the present simple. Usually,
Yeah.
they're talking about the
That's why I'm
present.
asking.
Yeah. Well, since you're narrating something that happened in the past, you will use the past, probably, most likely. Yeah, because you're talking about an event that happened already, and if you're talking about the concert that the rapper gave, it happened already. It didn't happen. So it's about the past. Let's look at the examples. I think that will give us this answer. He emerged, past simple, from the metro, and position, past simple, right? Against himself. By most measures, he was undescribed, past simple. So he was talking an event that already happened. Okay, so you don't. But when we're writing novels like stories, it doesn't matter because the world of the story is different than the real world. You're not writing about non-fiction; it's fiction. Yeah, so it's different.
Will you show the material with us, please? Material.
The PowerPoints? I'll send it to you. Yeah, I can. You just give me your email, I'll send it to you. That's fine. Any other questions? So for next class, for next lecture, I keep saying class, I'm used to saying class. For next lecture, we will talk about how to write the body of the article. Mainly show, don't tell. If you probably heard it before. This word show, don't tell.
Yes. His name?
Name?
His name, who said yes?
He always, Mr. Rifat always talks about it. He does. He always talks about it, yeah. But it's a very famous technique where you don't. For example, don't tell me that you're angry. Just write a scene where you show me you're angry. You see what I mean? It's very important. This is what we are going to work on next lecture. Show, don't tell. How can you tell me? You're talking about child labor, a little child who's selling chocolate in the streets of Arimal, who is only 12. Don't tell me he's depressed. Don't tell me he's poor. Show me how he's poor. Show me how he's depressed. And this is what we're going to work on. It needs practice. It's easy to say, well, show me. But when you actually start writing, it's different. So that's what we're going to practice next lecture. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.